So it's December 20th, 2019, and it's been a while since I uploaded a podcast, so I figured I might as well. And I played this song because this was Rachel's favorite Christmas song. It's crooner style, you know. Andy Williams. It's called Happy Holidays. And it's kind of silly. If you listen to the lyrics, it sounds like he's drunk or something. And so she always got a kick out of that. What can I say? I mean, I've never liked... this, by the way, won't be uploaded to YouTube or any of the podcast apps because I'm playing a song, but I guess I don't really care. Although I should if I'm looking for any sort of, like, continuity on Spotify or anything, but... you know, what do you do? Think about it. I never liked Christmas. And, yeah, so I figured I would talk about that. And Rachel wasn't a huge fan of Christmas, but she was but when it came, she wanted to be, she wanted to enjoy it, you know? She would get stressed out about presents and everything, but she loved her family around Christmas. She loved her father, has a fascination with miniature Christmas trees, and she would always get him one or find him another one to add to his collection, and she loved that about him and loved everything about her family during the holidays. Like her brother Dan had a fascination with miniatures as well that came from their father, and yeah, we used to go see her dad, we'd see her mom, we'd spend Christmas with her family, and sometimes we'd go to her brother Dan's house or to her mom's house. I remember going to her mom's apartment before they built a house, and it was always so good. Just like the best day. Her mom was so good at giving gifts. I mean, it's a silly thing to say, like, of all the things on Christmas, but, you know, think about it. When you're in love with a girl, and when I was first coming around and meeting her family, they just always made me feel so good, like, so welcome. And her mom would stuff these stockings, and just, I always felt like part of the family. And yeah, so for someone who doesn't like Christmas, they always made my Christmas. And it's strange talking about it right now because lately I've been in a very tough place mentally. Like, I compartmentalize these things, and especially during the holidays, I really, like, in a very unhealthy way, I lock away thinking about Christmas. I try not to celebrate it or even acknowledge that it's happening, and I need to stop that. But, you know, the past few Christmases have been, yeah, just hard. Last year was my first Christmas without her, and I told everyone that I was going somewhere. I told my parents live in Florida, so I told them I would be with Ray's family, and I didn't go. And I told Ray's family I was with my sister or something. I know it's a terrible thing to do, but I just didn't want to be around anybody. And I didn't do anything on Christmas Day. I did nothing. Yeah. It's the first time I'm, like, admitting that out loud. And it was brutal. I don't want to get into it, but it was brutal. So now talking about Christmas and that it's coming, and talking about being around her family, It gets to me. It's getting to me currently. But, her family was just, they're all just so easy and very different from my family. I'm not saying that my family's not easy. There's a lot of love in my family too. It's all love, but her family was just, or I should stop saying it in the past tense. Her family is so fun. They're just so fun to be around and warm and funny, and they just have a good time. And Rachel always wanted to stay as long as she could. Man, on those days, on the days that we would go over her mom's or her brother's or something, we'd always be the last people to leave, or among the last people to leave, because Rachel, as stressed out as she would be about wrapping presents and getting presents and bringing all these big gifts, that she, if anyone knew Rachel, you knew her thing with gifts. She was the best gift giver, gift wrapper I've ever seen. I mean, and she used to tell me, I used to wrap presents with newspaper or whatever I could find, and she would say, think about being a kid and opening a present. Really think about it, big picture. It's not about, in the end, it's not about what's in the box and how much use you get out of that thing that's in the box. It's really about these big, beautiful presents under the Christmas tree. And she knew that, and she wrapped her presents like nobody else. Just, they were magic. She made her gifts look magical. And Christmas just holds a lot of weight for me. The one of the worst days of my life was Christmas Day 2013. My parents were in Florida. I was just getting used to not having my family around for Christmas. And we were living in Hadley, and that's the day we broke up, was on Christmas night 2013. Maybe technically the next day, but I was being a grouch in real bad. And she had warned me, saying, if you're going to be a grouch this year, I'm not going to deal with it. That's it. And she said, I'm going out. This was Christmas Eve. She said, I'm going to go out and meet some friends. And I thought, what? Wait, I don't know if she said I'm going to go out and meet some friends. I thought she said I'm going to go out and get a drink or go for a snack or something. I didn't know what she was saying. We were fighting. And she didn't come back. And it was unlike her to not even text. She wasn't answering texts or anything. And I remember midnight came around, and I was really worried and started to get a little frantic. And then 2 a.m. came around, and I was really scared. Finally, at 4 a.m., I called the police and told them. And I just wanted to know if there was a car accident in town or if they had heard anything. And finally, around 5 or 6 a.m., they agreed to do a ping on her phone. And she was somewhere in Belchertown. And the cops showed up and found her because they were concerned too at that point. And here's the thing. I asked her, I wanted to know where she was, but I was just so happy she was back. I never asked her. To this day, I don't know exactly where she was that night. And I don't care because it was my fault, and she wanted to be joyful and around people that weren't being grouchy, and we broke up. She came home, and that day, I think it was either Christmas Day or the day after Christmas we broke up. So she sat down, she said, we need to talk, and said, I think we need to break up. And then we're still living together, but she immediately started sleeping at a friend's house. She told me she was sleeping at a friend's house, and then I found out she was sleeping at a guy's house, this Israeli guy she had met. And it's so funny, it's just so funny, I didn't I didn't get angry that she was with this guy. I think I was just so sad and miserable, and I thought, like, you don't understand. Rachel was so trustworthy and honest and, like, not scandalous, that for her to do that, it meant that I really had failed her, had really caused us to drift apart. And I examined that, and I knew that was true. And yeah, it was bad though. So I remember that Christmas, man, and I remember the next Christmas. We broke up that 2013. We got back together the following that summer, and I think that fall. But that following Christmas, I remember we went to her mom's, and this is the first time I had been to her mom's house after they had built the house. And I remember being very worried. I think we went to their built house. Either that or we went to the apartment in Worcester. But I remember being worried because I thought her mom was going to hold some resentments towards me. I don't know, I'm sure her mom had heard Rachel's side of the story, which was, I was embarrassed. And guess what? I showed up, and she just, like, with open arms, just welcomed me back. And, just Rachel made Christmas for me. She made Christmas for me. I don't really care much about Christmas. I don't have kids. And, if you're not rich, Christmas sucks. Like, if you're already struggling with financially, then, like, the last thing you want to do is, like, see people shopping, or, like, have a friend say, "Did you get all your Christmas shopping done?" And you're like, no. What Christmas shopping? Like, I'm just trying to get groceries this week or whatever it may be. So I really don't like Christmas, and Rachel was the only reason why I enjoyed Christmas, being with her. And even the last few Christmases that I think we spent maybe 2 in the hospital. Or around trips to the hospital. I know we spent 1 in the hospital. The second one, I think she just made it back from the hospital. She came home, and then ended up going back, or I don't remember. But even when she was sick, she made Christmas wonderful. And so what do you do if you now live alone and you haven't really moved on? I think I haven't moved on because I'm just so stuck. I don't know what to do, but that's a whole nother story. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I miss her a lot. And Christmas is super hard. Holidays are super hard. Her birthday is super hard. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. She was the best. I don't know why I felt like talking about her. Sitting here alone in the holiday season, feel very alone. It's my fault. I isolate myself, but I just miss her. I don't know. That's all I got for tonight.